Well, it's wonderful to be back at Mission Bay, and I'm excited to have the big screen and to be able to show you the work of the Macaw Recovery Network team. It's always a pleasure to be able to present, and I think the most important thing that we want to express by being here is saying that Pamela and I just represent a big team that do a tremendous amount of work, and so we're ambassadors for a large group who all appreciate your support, and it's a great honor for us to be able to share that with you. But how are we doing, guys? Do I need to click? Is that what I'm waiting for me to click? Okay, I was waiting for that. So it's great to be here and to show you our work, but today's going to be a little bit different. Sound has always been really important to me. My parents, from a young age, instilled a love of great music, like the Rolling Stones, and also some ambition, that does say big boss. But these days, I find it's natural quiet, the absence of human noise, that I seek out more. And that's a really valuable commodity. When was the last time that you experienced even just 5 minutes without a man-made noise? I challenge you to think back to when that might have been. In the rainforest, the home of the great green macaw, natural quiet is very important. It may be that you're a song wren trying to attract a mate with your complex call. This is just one bird. Or it might be that you're a pair of bay wrens renewing your vows through a duet. But it could be that your life depends on hearing the alarm call of other birds and that you know then to flee. Macaws, of course, are very loud. They're also big birds. They're brightly colored, and they fly over the canopy. So that makes them excellent flagship species for the rainforest. Today, we're going to hear about how the Macaw Recovery Network team are using that loud call to understand where they're going and how we can conserve them best. We're going to see how we're protecting the rainforest home and that natural quiet. And then Pamela will tell us all about our community work with humans, us lot, the ones that make all the noise. The great green macaw is critically endangered. There's only 1,000 adults left in the wild, and they're on the very edge of extinction. Now, I imagine that you, like me, spend a lot of time thinking, why aren't there more great green macaws? That's a very good question, Michael. Thank you. To save a species, it's really rather simple. We need 2 things. We need the species to have lots of babies, and then we need everybody to survive. If you've got those 2 things, your population will increase. Well, we've looked at the nests of the birds, and we've seen that they're producing lots of babies, but the population isn't increasing. So now we're investigating survival. And that's a real challenge because when the chicks leave the nest at 3 months of age, they hang around for a couple of weeks, and then, as far as we're concerned, the families disappear. We don't know where they go. With a mammal, you can just stick out a bunch of cameras and your great big mammal will show up on those cameras. But that doesn't work with macaws. So we're now doing a very fancy scientific project. This is Costa Rica, and the Northeast has got the measles. And at each of those points, we've got an audio recorder, and that allows us to track where the birds are going. We're climbing trees at each of these locations and sticking these recorders up in the trees, and then they're recording for months on end. They're recording samples for months on end, and this is covering an area of 11,000 square kilometers. Now, to put that in your terms, that's Point Reyes across to Napa, down through Mount Diablo, all the way through the middle of the range until you get level with Santa Cruz. So that's a huge area of land that we're trying to understand where the macaws are going. The difference is we're moving around on muddy tracks where we get stuck, not 27-lane highways. But like I said, this is a very sophisticated scientific project. It's cutting-edge stuff, and this is how we attach the devices to the trees. When we know where the birds are going, we can learn more about the habitat in those areas and find out more about what the birds need at what times of year. That helps us pinpoint exactly the best areas that we need to protect for habitat. But what we do know is that the macaw's nest trees are critically important areas, critically important aspects of the habitat that we need to protect. This is a nest tree in full bloom. It's absolutely beautiful. And this is on our reserve. Our reserve includes 3 nests and a whole load of food for the parrots, as well as roosting sites as well. Everything that you see in this photograph is on our reserve. Staying on the reserve is a real treat because there's just this incredible natural quiet, and when you wake up, you're greeted by this pre-dawn symphony. With the dawn, the soundtrack changes. Now, for me, the reserve was motivated by the parrots. For our organization, that was the thing. And for me, it's always been about the parrots. But the morning I was filming those drone shots just a couple of weeks ago, these guys were zooming through the forest. And if you will look closely at the next clip, you'll see a tiny, brand new baby clinging onto the side of its mother. I'd have to check with Mark, but for me, these non-parrots are some kind of mini orangutan or something like that. And the amazing thing is, the team tell me there's lots of other non-parrots on the reserve. I'm not sure what this is. I think it's some kind of short-nosed elephant, passing at 11:53, followed moments later by another one, and evidently this one is a male. We've got Peter's dogs. This one just hasn't been painted yet. It's a blank canvas. These are light dogs. It's just not as good. We've got spotty ones. This one's also a male, evidently. We've got a little black cat. It's got a big head, skinny tail. That's different to the giant weasel, which has got a little head and a big tail. And this is some kind of giant rat. And then this mammal's black and white striped, so I think that means it's a zebra. I'm not sure what these guys are, but they seem like a dodgy bunch of guys. We've even got Olivier's cranes on the reserve. It's just that they've got little legs. But it's actually the birds that are really cool. They come in all sorts of colors. We've got red, orange, yellow, green. We've got white ones. We've even got black ones that think they're rock stars like Keith Richards and wear scarves. The difference is, unlike Keith Richards, these are an endangered species that we're also protecting. So white, black, we've got gray with a hint of blue, we've got blue with a hint of gray, blue with red legs, blue with yellow legs, blue and yellow ones, and then we've got these guys with all the colors. But we all know the truth, don't we? These are just fancy penguins. This is Trevor. Trevor is a Swainsons thrush, and he lives in San Francisco, where this photograph was taken. Now, if you've ever been outside in summer and stood near a tree, you've probably heard a Swainsons thrush. Trevor was last seen in September in the trees out the back here, but right now he's over Mexico somewhere on a 3,000-mile journey to our reserve. He'll travel all of that way and he'll overwinter in our forest reserve. So this connects our projects. This is our reserve here. The blue line marks the boundary. We've just, thanks to the support of WCN donors, we've just doubled the size of the reserve. The southeastern half of it is a new addition, so thank you all for that. We've now reached 1,000 acres. This is where Trevor is going to spend his winter. And so this tells us that when we're protecting this critical habitat for macaws, we're also protecting all those other non-parrot biodiversities, and we're protecting the birds that are in your back gardens. So you could say we're protecting your sounds of the summer, and I don't mean a Beach Boys album. To put this into context, this is the reserve in the middle here, the dark blue. The light blue areas are other private reserves, and the white areas are national parks. Now, the great green macaw's breeding area is all of that area where the light blue and our reserve is found, and our ambition is to protect all of that. That doesn't mean we're going to own it all, but we can collaborate with other landowners and secure partnerships that protect the rainforest. At MRN, we believe that we cannot afford to lose any more rainforest. What does that look like in the short term? Well, we're having conversations with all of these landowners. There's our reserve again over here. We're having conversations with the landowners around our reserve. Number 4 is obviously an important one for us, but it's kind of strategic to wait a little bit. Number 6 is interesting, not just because it looks like a pig's head, but the challenge there is logistically it's complicated. So we're looking at these different ones. Number 1, the owner is very keen to sell it, and that's a large area of primary forest, so we're very interested in that one. It probably has macaw nests on it as well. And it also looks like a T-Rex, so that's kind of cool. Through habitat protection, we can create a natural asset that has value for the community, and that includes that natural quiet. When people benefit from nature, we create vibrant communities, and this is what that sounds like.
The tree nursery is not just a place where we start restoring the great green macaw's habitat. It's also a place where we all grow and develop as humans. Today, I want to introduce to you 3 wonderful women, Dendry, Sujen, and Elena. They are leading the great green macaw conservation in Costa Rica. So let's start with Dendry. Dendry found a new passion with the Women Ranger Project. I can remember very well our first session working together. We were learning about the ecology of the rainforest. She was hearing for the first time in her life this kind of information. Now, Dendry is able to identify 3 species, and also she is already teaching others. Despite some challenges like learning how to use a computer or navigate in dense forest, today I can see, and especially in this picture, you can see how Dendry looks like a very professional person. Thanks to all this progress, MRN has offered a job for the ladies. So now, these ladies have a stable, a formal job in their community. It's something that is not that common in their community. We are given social security and other benefits that are not common in the place where they are living. Now, let's learn a little bit more about Sujen. Sujen, despite her lack of formal education, have shown incredible leadership skills. That is why she was nominated, and actually she won, a Costa Rican award that is called Brave Women. During the award ceremony, she gave an emotional speech, and actually she said, "Not even in my wildest dream did I imagine living through an experience like this. Where I come from, even dreaming of something like this was impossible." Now let's meet Elena. Elena traveled for the first time in her life to visit the Proyecto Titi. Hi, Proyecto Titi friends. In that trip, she was able to learn about how Proyecto Titi manage their reserve. And now Elena brings all that information to Costa Rica, and we are putting in practice all this knowledge. It was an experience that she had never imagined. It was something that wasn't in her life plans, and it's something that she valued the most, and now she's very excited of continue working with the macaws in Costa Rica. So I have to say it again. The tree nursery is not just a place where we start restoring the great winged macaw's habitat. It's a place where we all grow as humans. So now, with the reserve that Sam was telling, we have a big opportunity to keep working with the community, and that is why we are already making a participatory process for creating a management plan for the reserve. So together, the community and MRN, we are planning how we're managing this huge amount of forest. We want to change people's life, because when we change people's life, we are also safeguarding this forest. And when we are safeguarding this forest, we are giving home to thousands of species and also the great green macaw. We really want these flocks to be a common sight in Costa Rica, and we can make it do it. Together, we are saving the great green macaw from extinction. So thank you very much.